So can that be shut off?
The AI.
We're recording it?
I just hit the record thing. I don't
Yeah.
see AI on my screen down on the bottom
It's
anymore.
not. It's up in the upper right next to recording. I don't, Wendy, did you turn that on by chance when you?
Here, I can stop.
No.
Here, it says stop all AI companion features. I can do that.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know either. I'm not super smart when it comes to it, so.
I do know that it's used. There are programs that use AI in order to create meeting minutes. So I don't know if Jilann would find that useful if they know what this type of program is.
Okay.
I think we can live without it for tonight. I see a couple more visitors have come in.
Rob.
Okay, I see Rich. Looks like Rich Miron came in.
Sarah Verheuel and a
And
Scott
Sarah,
Hildy.
yeah, Sarah Verheuel. And who else?
Scott Hild. I guess I don't know how you say last name.
Oh, Scott Hildy.
Yep.
Okay.
And I see Jeff Niementhal's on now.
And Rob.
Okay.
And Rob made it, yeah.
Okay. Rob, okay. All right. All right, Tiffany, you got your hand up?
Yeah, I do have some items to add to the agenda when you're ready.
Okay, yeah, let's get back to that. So are we gonna do the bylaws in unfinished business as C? Does that make sense? Jilann?
Yeah, well, we have to add it to the agenda somewhere.
Right. Okay, so I'll just put it there because it's unfinished. We just got to vote on it. So, all right,
Right.
what else? Tiffany, what else did you have?
Yeah, hold on. So I'm adjusting. So add items F through K and unfinished, or sorry, F through K and new business, F being the SD29 position, G mean the Tim Nanson gift certificate, H being new meeting date or next meeting date for August, I being previous members having access, H is have a professional file the campaign finance reports. I would be convention minutes and attachments. And then change, do a number 9 of the communications committee video comment under closed session.
So are you,
I
Brett, you've added bylaws or Tiffany's adding bylaws?
I'm adding bylaws. Now, I'm not an expert at Robert's rules, but I know I had, if we're going to reviewing the convention minutes, I had asked for those ahead of time and then it wasn't on the agenda. It was removed from the one I did.
Yeah, and you told us to bring it up tonight. I'm just going to give them to you tonight, Brett. We can put them on for discussion at August meeting. Then everybody will have a copy of them for that.
Okay.
It'll just be presenting them.
Yeah,
basically.
I mean, another thing too is I don't like surprises that coming up on the agenda. That's really not fair. Since I'm supposed to set the agenda.
Yeah, so just for the record, Brett, Jilann and I had suggested some of these additions, which you could have added before sending the agenda out. You did not. You said for us to bring these up. When you asked, I was not by my desk. I did think of a couple things. Most of these things will be a very short discussion, hopefully, knock on wood, right? But it's just things that come up. And this is the committee's meeting. This is not one person's meeting.
Yeah, I know, but I believe I set the agenda.
The committee sets the agenda.
What's that?
The executive committee does votes on the agenda. Anybody can add anything.
Okay.
I did have convention meeting minutes and the bylaws in the draft version of the agenda, and then you told Tiffany and I to bring them up Thursday night, which we're doing.
Okay. Well, we
have
need a motion of some type here.
So I'll make the
Brett?
motion to add those items to the agenda.
I'll second that. This is Daryl.
Any more discussion? Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed,
Aye.
nay. Opposed, nay. Unanimous, motion carried. Okay, officer reports. It's been a busy couple of weeks for me. Was in Albany this weekend. I was in Morrison County Fair this weekend. I was in Todd County Fair. Participated in a lot of different events, meeting a lot of nice people. Had a couple of meetings with some of the CD chairs. We had a meeting on Sunday night, covered a lot of ground. It was nice for us to get together so we could see each other. Talked about a lot of different things that maybe we can work together on. So that's pretty much it. All right, Tiffany, go ahead.
Yeah, it has been kind of busy and stuff with answering phone calls and attending the communications BPOU committee and the BPOU chairs meetings and stuff. I did attend the Meeker County event the week before last that they had Liz Collins and the lawyer Chris there. Very well attended. Very good event. If you have a chance to get Liz or listen to Chris, very, very good information and stuff. Well, we also walked in the Redwood Parade on a very hot night a couple Friday nights ago and stuff. So that's my report.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Tiffany at all? Okay, Nathan.
Yeah, attended the state exec meeting. Was that almost 2 weeks ago, I think already? Yeah, we went through quite a bit was covered. We did talk about the state central committee meeting being canceled and moving on to a motion was made to have a third meeting, I suppose you'd have to call it, being how we were gavelled in and out at the June one, to have one in December rather than in July. We felt that it was a little fast to try and rush to get one going. Despite Alex being willing, Alex was willing to get it going for July. We just, yeah, it was a relatively party vote, 13-1 the other way to push one out until December. Don't have the date specified yet, but we're going to maintain the one in September as well. Otherwise, I mean, besides having heard that there was some scuttlebutt about, people wanting to call a meeting for July, we did ask the executives if their reports were going to change at all, which they assured us it was just going to be any additional items added on to their current report. That was going to be just added on them. Whatever they had to discuss in the last 90 days would be added into it for September. So give people some more time to work on the Constitution and bylaws changes and whatnot that need to be updated. Got a financial report on that on the state of the party. Things seem to be going pretty well there, especially despite what they came out of. I know I've said that before, but it's pretty clear that there's been some good changes made. And then kind of the other big thing was the removal of Jennifer DeJournette and her spot potentially not being refilled. I'm not exactly sure where that's all gonna land yet. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it.
Okay, Daryl, did you have a question for Nathan?
Yeah, Nathan, would you be able to tell us what the finances are of the, state party, since we didn't have our state central where it would have been reported?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, just roughly, I wrote down in my notes that it was right around $250,000 that they had at their between their state and federal account, and that did not include some $40,000 that they were going to get back in potential not necessarily refunds, but it sounded like some overpayments, some tax things that were coming back our way. So that was a good sign. There were some still a few outstanding bills. I know that Alex had not taken his still has yet to take a salary, so that's still out there. He did make it clear that he was going to wait on all of that until the party was in good shape. He wants there to be a 3-month, trying to build up 3 months worth of expenses and savings before we get too far down the road. Does not want to take out any lines of credit, and is attempting to one of the finance chairs discussed the wanting to not use money to earn money or to make fundraising happen. So yeah, it sounded like things are moving in a good direction. They're looking for, that was one thing they did ask, is that if you have any donors, and I can get the email to you, but if you have any donors that you think would be interested in donating, please get a hold of these guys. They'll be able to, they want kind of like a quick synopsis of what that individual really makes them tick politically, so they can kind of speak to that or research it for them, and how the Republican Party can help and is planning to help advance that, advance the principles in that area. So if you have any CD7 big time donors, John is willing to have a discussion with them if he's willing to do that at any time. So
Okay.
Okay. I see Lisa's got her hand up.
Yeah, I was wondering, Nate, there's been some discussion about having delegate and alternate lists for state central available. Did they ever get that figured out? I understand that, like, the secretary doesn't even have the completed lists. Are they working on that before the next meeting?
yeah, that's what that got brought up again. She said she hadn't obtained it yet. Jennifer said that she's got it pretty much built and was going to get it to her. I mean, I do know that even CD7, Bret and I were working on helping complete that list all the way up until, I don't know, 2 or 3 days before they needed to mail out the information for the call for the June meeting. So there was definitely some missing pieces of it. So I don't think they had the complete list, but we helped complete it there in early June. So I would believe that it's going to land in her for all the officers. It's supposed to land in their hands this month, I think. But that was before Jennifer had been let go. So she did agree to, from what I saw in her email, that she was going to help with a solid transfer of the data and everything that she needs to do on the way out. So hopefully she'll be able to finish that before she leaves.
Okay, Tiffany's got her hand up.
Yeah, Nathan, is the September 13th state central meeting at Jackpot, or have they solidified the location?
Yeah, that's the target location. They made it sound like they were going to try and finish that up this month. I don't remember if they had any money down on it yet, but they did say that that's where they're shooting for, and it sounds like that's the only place they were planning on at this point.
Okay, and then how about in December?
December, we didn't get to that location. think a couple of us were just kind of throwing around St. Cloud and whatnot, kind of again. One of the, I think it was David Pasco mentioned that, you know, he'd like it to be at a place that, especially in light of what happened last month, a place that we can, you know, as Republicans, we can carry, so that he'd prefer a place like that, which of course I was on board with, obviously too. But
Good.
but they're talking about, you know, financially, you know, a place that can obviously house us, doesn't have to be an expensive place. There's going to be some costs, some hard costs still associated with the one we had in June, but they're going to try and find a lower cost place this time in December to mitigate that. Everybody who paid in June will be allowed in the next meeting, and considered paid for that one. So yeah. So, and then I think even there's some talk about changing the venue of where exec meeting is being held. Just yeah, just more cost effective, maybe someplace a little bit out of the beltway there, so we can, you know, a little more favorable to our
Not
to our
in the metro anyway. That would be
what
good.
was that?
I said, so it won't be held in the metro, right?
That's what we're hoping. Yeah. I mean, I guess yeah, is Alex Plechash on here? Alex, did I miss
Yeah.
anything? If you
I am here, and I think you've been doing an outstanding job on summarizing not only the meeting, but answering questions. So kudos for that. The only thing that I would say was slightly misstated is we do plan to replace Jennifer. It may not be the same title, but she is going to be replaced. And we're going to have a process for that. We have a team of people that are going to be vetting people and coming up with ideas. We might even look nationally for that. You know, so stay tuned. I do want to replace her as quickly as feasible, but we don't want to rush it either. So there is that. But other than that, I think you really captured everything pretty well. Thank you.
All right, Holly has her hand up.
So in looking around for spots for our conventions, I know that the Alex hockey rink, when they take the ice out, it's not really cold, can hold a state central meeting. And we have lots of hotels in the area. So just saying, center of the
All right.
state.
yeah, we can mention that. Sounds good. One other thing that was brought up during the executive reports and whatnot was that there's some research that had been done and what it's going to take to win in 2026. And it looks like when we as Republicans get 85% turnout or better, we win. So if we can try and get our people turned out, I think, well, this was Jennifer's plan at the time, but she's looking for trying to chase 87% of our own Republican voters to get them into the voting booth. And there's something like a quarter of outstate Minnesota is only mail-in at this point. And what it would take to potentially get some pop-up voting locations in those areas to help in-person voting, because a lot of people still want to be able to go in, and we're kind of dealing with some backlash of the COVID shenanigans in that area. So I know obviously CD7 has a lot of outstate places. I know there's still a few, even in our own county, a few townships that are mail-in only. So if you're interested in securing some pop-up locations, I think that'd be a valuable opportunity. Go ahead and let me know if your township. I'll try and keep a list of that, and maybe we can get something collectively as a state party or even as a CD, some requests into the Secretary of State to get that done.
Okay, Daryl's got his hand up.
Yeah, on the 87% in research, do we have any research showing what is the typical percent that we come out on a governor race, so that we can understand what is our workload that we have to do to reach that 87%?
That's a great question. I don't have that number. So you're looking at the Republican turnout in like 22 and then 18, right? Basically.
Correct. Correct.
Sure.
Kind of get a, what is our
Yep.
baseline? Where are we starting from?
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I did know those numbers a while ago for 2022. Yeah, I mean, I'd be willing to look into that, see where we're at, see it's pretty simple, Secretary of State, elections research to get the exact numbers. So, yeah, I mean, I'll take a look at that and, see what we got and see if 87% would eclipse that. I guess that she's already done that, but yeah, I'll see. Maybe actually, I'll just ask her if she'll pass on some of that information if she's already done that research.
Yeah, I guess, well, yeah, understanding what that 87% is, right? Because we know presidential elections, we get a much higher turnout than in gubernatorial elections.
Right.
So what does that 87% mean? Is it the total registered Republicans? Is it regular turnout? So understanding what is that 80%, so we have a clear, understanding of what's our workload.
Sure. So what does the 87% exactly mean? If it's, like you say, registered or just turnout in general? All right.
Yep. Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Fred's got his hand up. Go ahead, Fred.
You're on mute, Fred.
Nothing in regard to what Nathan's saying, but I'm just trying to keep track of the participants. And we've got some iPhones who haven't been identified. And there's 3 Lisas. And one of them doesn't have a last name.
Lisa Hahn was the other one, I think.
Yeah, Lisa Hahn, Lisa Tilney, but there was another
Lisa Murphy.
Lisa Murphy.
Okay.
Yeah. That's kind of okay. Nathan, did they mention anything about the CDs doing a contribution to get the state fair booth up and running?
Oh yeah, they did. Yep. They mentioned that that there was some conversations about the state fair, as long if you were interested in as a CD, if we wanted to jump in and do like an entire shift, or I mean, I don't know if an entire day, but where we could get our own volunteers to represent our CD at that time slot was kind of the target. Yeah, to reach out and go ahead.
I meant a donation.
Oh, financially. Oh, well, they did say that it was going to take, Donna mentioned that it was going to take around $50,000 to get that straightened out. I think it was a $5,000 just to hold our spot. So, yeah, I'm sure they'd be more than willing to have the CDs help contribute to that. They did not ask specifically for our help, but I don't think they would turn it down.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Holly?
Just an aside, if you will, on the mail out voting. We had 3 townships in Douglas County that were mail out in 22. They are not in 24. If we're talking to people, the best way to get them back to in-person voting is they put pressure on their township board to revert back to mail-in vote or to in-person voting. The Secretary of State, they keep track of who is, but it's up to individual voters in those precincts to pressure their township boards to go back to mail-in voting. It's much more ground level, grassroots, and you get better results because it's your neighbor that's not letting you vote in person.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Thanks. All right, Tiffany?
Yeah, just real quick. So yeah, the township supervisors are the ones that decide that, and stuff, whether you're mail-in or in-person voting. The other thing is, so CD7 has always been Labor Day weekend at the state fair. Are they still, usually it's like that Monday. Do they still have that date?
We're the 30th.
Which is that Labor Day, or is that
Saturday?
That's Saturday. I think I put that out a couple
Saturday.
meetings ago.
Okay.
Yep.
Good, thank you.
Yep. Jilann?
Yeah, I was just gonna compliment the conversation about mail-in precincts. So if you want to make a change in your township or somebody else, then you can get involved. It's a grassroots government. I'm the clerk of my township, and we were successful we will be going back to in-person voting in 26. But it takes a lot of work. It's taken us 3 years to get back to it.
Right. And that's another thing that somebody asked me earlier this week in an email about things that I'm working on, and that's one of them. So there's a statewide team. The CD5 chair is kind of heading that up. And so we're going to be working. In order to have a pop-up voting thing, I think they have to have 400 people in order to do it. So, but that's just one aspect of the whole thing. But that's one of the things that we're going to have a meeting on here next week. So we're working it. Go ahead, Daryl.
Just want to add to this. This is one of President Trump's, campaign, is that we will have in-person voting. So that can be like a help of a boost as we go in, and then also involve our BPOUs to also go and challenge the township boards so that we can get into in-person voting. That's been very successful here in Sibley County as well.
Great. Lisa Murphy?
Also, it's not just the township boards here in Wadena County. We had everybody is like, okay, wait till October 25th and you could go in and vote early in person. Well, they were too lazy to roll out the machine. And so everybody still had to just fill out the envelope and stuff it in an envelope. So you also have to go after your county board to get that early in-person voting going as well. Cause it's not just at township, it's at county level. Cause I couldn't believe it. It's like, you go into early in-person vote and it's like, oh, here's your envelope. It's like, well, where's the machine? Oh, we didn't want to roll it out. So it goes beyond township. So county boards is good to take out too.
Amanda?
I just wanted to throw it out there in these small towns, especially like ours, when you have all your relatives on the ballot, finding election judges is very, very difficult. So reach out and swap judges with your townships. That's what we had to do.
Okay. Great comment. All right. Thanks, Nathan, for your report. Next, we got Treasurer's report. Heidi?
Okay, here we go. So I emailed all of the executive committee and officers the report. It hasn't changed from Treasurer Nanson to myself as far as the numbers. So in our state account, we currently have $4,691.35. In our federal account, that total is $18,673.16, with our total treasury being $23,364.51. Any questions on that?
Yeah. Have you got did you get the new bank account information from them and the new cards yet?
I have received the state. Yeah, I guess I should update everybody that we, Tim Nanson, myself, and Chair Bret met in Alexandria, and we did the transition between handing over the paperwork, etc. We discussed everything with Bremer Bank in Alexandria, and they suggested that because of our employee identification number with a federal ID, etc., they suggested that we close all of our accounts and reopen new accounts. So we are going to have a new state account, new federal account. There's obviously no changes. It's just going to be a new banking account. We're getting new debit cards. I did receive the state checks. I haven't received any federal, and I haven't received any debit cards as of yet. Upon acquiring the treasury, I must confess, I was a little surprised that I was subjected to data entry from the first of the year. That had not been done. So I took it upon myself, thankfully I know the state like the back of my hand. So I spent last Friday and Saturday about 4 or 5 hours entering all of the convention data that goes into our state account. The federal data I still have yet to do. I'm going to conquer that on Monday. And I've been waiting for the banking statements to get to me, because right now when I attempted to get into Bremer Bank, it still had Tim Nanson's password. And being it was a weekend, I didn't want to disturb him. It wasn't of necessary importance or urgency that I get a hold of Bremer. So they've got all of everything that they need from me. They have everything from Bret being chair. So he's the assigned designated secondary person on the account. We've got the federal all taken care of. Our names are on there. We've got the state all taken care of. Our names are on there. So everything, the transition has been completed. It's just a matter of the little Square account, WinRed, what other accounts do I have? Wix. Just a matter of these different accounts that maybe have donate buttons on them. And then as far as determining what outlet we're going to use, I think we've talked, Bret and Tim, I think the communications committee talking about using Square over WinRed. So that can be discussed at a later date. And then I'll get, all of my email, everything on there, because if everything works as planned, my email, I'll be notified if anybody donates, but the donation obviously will go right to Bremer Bank. Like I said, I will say I was not real pleased when I took this over and I had about 5 hours of work to do, because usually when you hand off things, it's kind of a clean handoff. It was not. So the things that I have to do with the federal yet is all of the convention materials that needs to go into the federal FEC filing and everything like that. So it's all up and running and ready to go. It's just a matter of data entry, which thankfully I know how to do the state data entry and the federal. The federal is just a little tougher because I had only done a little bit. So, Tiffany?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, I don't know how Tim and Diane Johnson that did the filings, how they had it worked out. It could have been that Diane did that stuff.
She did it all. I talked to her 2 nights ago. I didn't realize that she did the state as well. She did everything.
Yep.
So
that's why, I mean,
I thought it was just the federal, but she did everything. Right. So
yeah. So I know, I don't think you're trying to, Heidi, but try not to point fingers at Tim, but he really didn't do that before.
Right.
I mean, Diane did that. So,
right. Well, but I was misrepresented. I should have been told that ahead of, I was not. I understood the federal, and no, I'm not pointing fingers at Tim.
Right.
I'm sorry if I misrepresented that, but I could have been informed that I had work to do. But again, I sat on Saturday night, watched movies, did it on my Chromebook, what I'm right here, because the state has a new program that you can do it off of any computer. But you're right. I really am not the type that would be pointing fingers, and I apologize if it sounded like that. But I wasn't happy. But I should have been informed that I knew the federal part, but I didn't know the state part. So but it's all done. The state's all been filed. Everything's up to date with the state. It's just a matter of the federal.
Good.
Okay, Holly has her hand up. Holly, you're on mute.
I move to accept the treasurer's report.
Okay. You want to accept? I've got a couple more comments. Do you want me to do that afterward?
No, go ahead.
If you want to accept the report ahead of time, that's fine too.
No, go ahead.
Okay. It was brought to me this week. So with the treasurer's report, what I've been usually doing, because Candy Ojai County, our meetings are the first Tuesday of the month. So I always do the treasurer's report. I'd either do it throughout the weekend, or I would do it even the Monday prior. I am one that I want to have that treasurer's report out to you guys, not the day of, not an hour before. I want to have it out to you. But I do know that your agenda and secretary's report comes out a week prior. So what I would like to ask the committee is, when do you want to have this treasurer's report? And keeping in mind, please, that once I get back to work with Delta Airlines, I may not be able to have that all to you. I will have it to you. If our meeting's on a Thursday, what I'm hoping to do is have it the Monday prior. But if I'm going back to work, I can't guarantee that I'm going to have that report a week prior when you send out the agenda and the secretaries. But my concern is that we meet on the first Thursday, so everything would be up to date by that Monday. So with that being said, how up to date do you want the treasurer's report? Is it going to matter if I have it a week off? You know, I mean, what would everybody prefer, to have it month to month, you know, basically somewhere around the 5th of the month or the 1st of the month, depending on when that first Thursday runs around? Or Tiffany?
I mean, you really have to go with your last statement, I would think. You know, that you would do your statement for the month, and then that would be the report. And then if there was anything added since then, just, I guess, add that extra.
Well,
but
that's what I'm used to doing. And, you know,
Right.
basically when I've done reports in the past with the county, is I took all of my report out of my checkbook ledger. I didn't go with the bank statement per se, but I would always balance all three. I would balance the statement, I would balance the checkbook ledger, and I would balance with campaign finance. So there's three things that you want to balance, and I would balance all three and then type out basically like I typed out for everybody here, very basic. I'm, you know, not one to use Excel that much, sorry, but just type out a basic statement. But I just wanted to see what everybody's thoughts are on the date and what you would prefer. If you'd prefer to have it out with the agenda and the secretary's note, or if you can just trust me in emailing it the Monday before our meeting, Thursday. Or I mean, the Monday before our Thursday meeting.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that happened. Tim did that as well, that we wouldn't get it until Monday or Tuesday. So, you know, I guess just do whatever works best, as long as everybody has is good with that.
Okay.
Tiffany, you have a question?
Well, I was just gonna say, you just do what works best for you, Heidi. I know, you know, now for the next few months, you know, it's gonna be probably a little quiet and stuff. So, you know, maybe there will be some months where, you know, maybe you'll have to wait till the day before or whatever, but you just kind of do what works for you. There were some times where Tim didn't get it out till like right before a meeting and stuff. That's just the way life goes. So
okay. I just wanted to make sure, you know, if anybody had any input, what they prefer. I like waiting because, again, we do meet that first week of the month. So that means I have a little bit more time to get data entry and statement, you know, gets closer to that statement date. So I just kind of want to check with everybody as to, and then I always like waiting a little closer to see maybe we got receipts coming in or something, or paying of bills or something. But, you know, obviously that would go on the next month's statement too. So, but I just wanted to double check on that. And then my last point, and this is something for maybe discussion at a later date. For the most part, we have been putting all of our receipts into the state account. And I'm sure Tiffany would know more about this. We've been putting most of our receipts into the state account, except for when it comes to the convention. Then we have our federal stuff. But prior to a couple years ago, I happened to notice, and it looked like a lot of that was in the federal account. So I think it shifted maybe a few years ago from primarily federal to state. And so, like I said, maybe at a later date, you'll want to discuss that. I'm not sure, or if this is something, yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that.
Holly, if you wanted to make your motion, now would be the time.
I make a motion to accept the minutes or the.
Holly, we get a second?
I'll second
I'll
that,
second.
Mary.
Who?
Mary, second.
Mary? Okay, Mary. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor of accepting the treasurer's report as read, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay? Unanimous, motion carried. All right. All right, Jilann, secretary's reports.
So I sent these out on June 27th, June 5th, June 12th, and June 17th. We have to approve.
Okay. Do we want to start with the 5th, go the farthest one back?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so look at your June 5th one. Does anybody have any questions or comments or concerns about that one?
Make a motion to accept.
Is that Lisa?
Yes, Murphy.
Okay. Okay, we need a second from someone.
I'll second. It's
Who's
Greg.
that? Greg?
Greg Cole.
Okay. All right, any discussion on it? Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay? Motion carried. All right. Looks like June 12th is the next one. Any motions or anything like that?
I move to accept the Secretary of Minutes on June 12th.
Who's that talking?
This is Daryl.
Daryl?
This is Rob. I second the motion.
Rob, second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay? Okay, motion carried. All right, 17th.
I motion to accept.
Second.
Lisa Murphy.
Second.
Lisa? Holly, second. Any discussion on those minutes? Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay? Motion carried. Awesome. Was there anything else, Jilann, or was that it?
That's it.
Okay. All right. Looks like we're moving on to unfinished business. We got legislative update. I don't think Noran is on at all, or is somebody a representative from the FIschbach campaign on?
I think so.
Okay.
Can anybody confirm who Cindy's iPhone is?
Cindy? Who's Cindy's iPhone? Hello? If you don't say who you are, we're going to have to remove you from the meeting. Cindy? Okay. I'm going to remove Cindy. Cindy's gone. Okay. Okay. B is Red Lake. So, State Executive Committee approved the convention call, and those people were upset because it took so long. And so they're going to wait until February when they do caucus and go through the whole shebang from the beginning. So I'll be going up there and doing their caucus. Me and a couple other people will, whoever wants to volunteer to go up there and do that for their, conduct their caucus, we'll do that. So that's the deal with Red Lake. Fred, question?
Yeah, Brett, did you identify 1, 2, 3 people up there who would have the possible experience and the desire to really get involved as to head up the drive?
Yeah, sure did. We met with them, took 5, there was 5 different people who went up there, including myself. And we talked to them. They had their person that was going to volunteer to be the chair. And then they had the treasurer as well. And so, yeah, they were all up for it, but you know, they had some reservations because of, things that have gone on in the past. And I assured them that those things were no longer issues. And then it kind of took too long for the whole call thing to get approved. So they decided that they'll just wait and go through the whole process next year on their normal rotation, I guess.
How long has it been since they've had a BPOU? I should know, I apologize.
They dissolved, I think, Rob, maybe you want to weigh in on this. I think they dissolved at their convention this year.
Yes, they had a convention, and let's see, there are 9 delegates total. 5 of them were at the convention, but none of the 5 would agree to chair the BPOU. So they just had a vote to dissolve. So anyway, what was happening basically was one family was pretty much doing the work. So and they didn't want to do it anymore. So
can I ask a question? Who's John's iPad?
That's John Ross, I believe.
John Ross, Deputy Chair, Polk County.
Yep.
Thanks, I'll rename you. Sorry for interrupting.
All right. Okay.
Thank you,
So,
Brett.
yeah. Well, I think
at the
Rob,
convention, I did what I could to try to talk him into just have somebody as a contact person, and I just was unsuccessful. But
yeah. What that was in, what was that, March when that happened?
Yeah, I believe it was March.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Brett. That's a slug up there. It's not like driving to the other side of town.
Yeah, it was 2 hours and 45 minutes one way for me. So yeah, but I had some help. There was people up there in the different counties that were helping out. So Pennington and Kitson. So they were all helping.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Item C, we added the bylaw update in there. Jilann did a great job here. She put it together, what we had come up with, and with the revisions that we did. So we're adding the BPOU chair. When the BPOU chair does not reside in CD7, the CD7 chair is authorized to convene a meeting with the caucus delegates within CD7 of said Senate district, and with the majority of those delegates present, elect a Senate district director who will serve until the next scheduled Senate district convention. So that's where we're adding on to section 3.
Article 4, section 3 of the bylaws.
Yeah,
yes.
correct. Yep.
Brett, any chance you could share that on your screen for everybody?
It was emailed out to everybody.
Okay. No
Everybody
worries.
on the exec committee got it 10 days prior to this meeting. So
Yep.
we should be able to take a vote. We had approved it at the June 17th meeting. I don't remember.
All right. So I'm going to need a motion.
So moved, Greg.
Who was that?
Greg Colbert.
Greg. Okay. Second.
Second, Heidi.
Heidi. Second. Okay. Any more discussion? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
So just one thing on that, Brett. Sorry, I was muted. I was going to talk before. I think because the ratio was brought up earlier today, I think we do need to add something in there, because at the last sentence of sentence 3, it says the delegate ratio of each BPOU at the most recent Senate District endorsing convention shall apply to each BPOU chair vote. I think we need to add in there then, because some BPOUs are different. We need to add each BPOU chair or delegate vote to make that equal. So just adding the word and or delegate.
Do we have to go through the 10-day thing again?
Right. So we would
Okay.
have to go through that process again
Okay.
to clarify that.
Okay. So we can put that on to finish that one up in August meeting then?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. All right, so that amendment passes. So good. Making progress. Okay, now we're on to new business. Before I turn it over for the report, what I want to say is as all you know, I sent you an email about me going to submit or appoint Wendy Wahl to the communications chair position with your vote, of course. And so I wanted to say that before she starts. I have her doing interim work right now. She's doing a great job. We'll get the passwords and all that stuff figured out. Okay, Wendy, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Wendy Wahl. I'm from Pennington County. First of all, I want to say thank you very much, Bret, for giving me this opportunity to potentially serve, and I hope that all of the committee can feel like there's an open door between me and them if I am appointed, and that I look forward to working with all of you in this very important task of facilitating good, solid
All right, but I
communication.
can't hear her. I don't know if it's my connection.
We can hear her.
I can hear.
We can. Okay, so it must be my connection. All right.
No
Continue.
worries. Yeah. That communication is key to all of us helping to turn Minnesota red. One of the things that I hope to do, or that we are, Bret and I have been discussing and we are working currently to do, is to try to take the Wix website that we have and use it to the fullest extent that we're able. And one of the things that we all know is that you can't advertise your plans to the Democrats because, you know, they're going to look at it and then they're going to know what we're doing. And Wix thankfully has a closed portion of it so that if people become a Wix member, they can become a member to our specific CD7 site. And when they enroll in our specific site, they can be given roles. So like they can be given a role as a BPOU chair, and then the BPOU chairs can have access to information that just a standard site member doesn't have. And you can create the roles that you have and then have information for those people based on their roles, so that we can be communicating like, hey, we have we're going to do door knocking in Moorhead. We want all the BPOU chairs to be aware of it, because if they have people who are door knockers, they're going to want to let them know. Or maybe we find that there's a cohesive group, and I actually created a closed group, which is basically they have to be approved or invited to the group as site members for door knocking people, because some people, that's their jam. So to have a closed group on that, if there's impromptu people who are doing some door knocking, they could throw it in there. And if those people have free time, they might find that that's what they want to do. You know, trying out different new ways of trying to engage different people based on what their skill set is and what their love is. I know in my own BPOU, a lot of people are scared to death to go knock their own neighbor's door because of the political climate, but I feel that they would be open to going somewhere else or making calls somewhere else. So I feel that that might be the case for other people. So hopefully we can use the website to figure out what people's skill sets are, what they enjoy, and then connect them into that without 80 million emails, and being able to go back to information without having to go through your 80 million emails. So that is that is really the hope of using the closed group, and to be able to put trainings up there. Even to, like, there was a place, I don't remember, I was going to say they did a training at State Central, and I cannot remember the name of the gentleman or what company he represents, but they do free trainings on like how to do different things. And I know that you can get recorded trainings, do Zoom trainings. And so we could utilize the website to have signups for that. We could also track volunteer hours using the events and having people sign up through the events, and potentially, and this is not a right away thing because this will take a little building, but we potentially even could do something where we can kind of keep track of who's volunteering, who are our core people, and then create a system where those people can be rewarded and have some kind of event so that the leaders of CD7 can be rewarded, and then also have an event where all the people who are doing the work get together and get to know each other a little better as an event or a volunteer appreciation. I mean, there's really a lot of different opportunities. We also are working on doing Twitter and Facebook posts. At this time, we're currently, our for sure goal is one a day. We're looking at setting up in the communications committee who are acceptable people to repost so that we can get that from one a day original posts up to like hopefully 4 to 6 posts a day, because we know that that's important and being meaningful. We're kind of working out the bugs of some of that it takes hours to like create posts and schedule posts. And then we are also looking at other opportunities with the website of creating maybe a PCR donation, like a PCR donation where smaller BPOUs who don't want to fill out the reports, they can still do recruiting in the PCR program by directing them directly to our site once we get our bank account hooked together with the site, and then figuring out with Heidi exactly what account we want to use and how we want to make sure she's getting all of the information she needs to send out the proper documentation. It's still early. I'm still learning a lot. I've got a great team I'm working with. They know who they are. And everybody's kind of figuring out on the communications committee what their role is and what they would like to do. And yeah, and we could always use a few more members. I mean, ideally, if we lived in a perfect world, it would be nice to have a liaison from every BPOU. I don't know if that's ever realistic. Maybe that's a 5-year plan so that that information can be going back and forth really well. We're also looking at any affiliate that is within CD7, looking at having them on our webpage too, because we know that some people like to connect through whether it's senior, whether it's union, whether it's being a person of color, those kinds of things, that unique perspective is something that can be a way that people can get their feet wet in the party. And so if we have groups within CD7, they have to have at least 10 members and a delegate. And if they do, then we'd like for people to know how to get a hold of those people or form those groups. Any questions?
Yeah, Jilann has her hand up.
Yeah, Wendy, thanks for the update. I was just gonna say that like on our X account and any other accounts, we should probably make sure we're following our Congresswoman and any other representatives, senators. We should have all of those accounts interconnected to the people we're here to support.
Oh, so what you're saying is that, so when I haven't got specific access to Twitter and Facebook yet, I've been publishing through Wix, but that's a great idea that we should have them in our list of following. So if someone's looking for them, they can click on our profile and quickly find those other people for sure. Another thing that we talked about that is, I don't know with everything else being built that it will be able to be done this election cycle, but eventually trying to connect in with our legislators and see if they'll do legislative updates that then can be either behind the closed wall of the members' CD7 site, or even some shorter things that we can do that can be posted on Facebook to give them the credit that they're doing on their committees and the great work of, you know, what they're stopping or starting, or giving us the greater knowledge of what exactly is going on. Because I know I encounter people who really don't believe that we have abortion up to birth in Minnesota. And I think that there's lots of different issues like that they don't even, your standard, I wouldn't call them normie, but they're normies that don't know what's going on, and they just can't believe that we're moving towards socialism on a freight train. So that will be great to eventually get to, maybe sooner rather than later. We'll see how it goes.
Daryl?
So, Wendy, question for you. If you have a location, because I know that my senator and my representative both do weekly legislative updates, even when they're not in session.
Okay.
So if you, when you're ready, let me know how we can get them in contact with you so that you can get on their distribution list. Then you could post it.
That would be perfect. That's exactly the kind of thing I'm looking for. And also I want to open the door. If you guys see anything wrong with the site at all, a typo, a spacing, you know, you look at it for so many hours, sometimes you can't even see it. I really, really ask that you reach out and let us know, because we want it to be classy. We want it to be well done. And sometimes with the amount of hours you put in, it kind of blurs. So feel free. And if you have great ideas like how to connect us in with people who are already doing great work, that's awesome too. So yeah, definitely. I didn't catch who that was. Was that
Daryl?
That was
Daryl?
Daryl.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you, Daryl.
Yep. Tiffany, go ahead.
Yeah, Wendy, I would just want to say thank you for stepping up and into this role. You know, I was on the last meeting and stuff, and you ran that. I thought it went really well and kind of changed the dynamics of that committee. So I appreciate you and all of your energy and stuff coming into this committee. It was thank you. So.
All right, great. Holly?
Ditto what Tiffany just said, but can we be very careful about these automatic posts that get scheduled weeks in advance? And then, oops, it is totally inappropriate for them to get posted. So can there be like a last minute, yeah, we still want to post something? So that we don't have the whole sheriff's thing when we're on a manhunt happen again.
Okay. Duly noted.
All right, Nathan, you were next.
Yeah, I just had a question about the calendar, and as far as updating, or if there'd be a way to get all the BPOU meetings and all that stuff on there. I don't know if that's still the plan or not, but I see some of that stuff is on there. I think it'd be really beneficial to help everybody, especially I'd like to be able to attend some on occasion when I can, if possible, to attend other ones, just as rep to the exec committee. It'd be nice to be able to meet up with some of the other BPOUs out there and tell what's going on too.
Yes, that's amazing. Any event that's submitted to us, we definitely will put on. I can send out an email campaign to all the BPOU chairs to have them try to send it to me within a time frame so we can get that set up. The other thing that I would really like to point out is I think it's a really good idea for us to post photos and things that we're doing to show what you know, that the Republican Party is not just all boring meetings, but there's exciting and fun things that we're doing. So if you happen to be doing either a fundraiser or a fun event, or even your parade booth and your fair stuff, if you would send a little bit of a summary so that I can post it as a portfolio, and then you can have as many photos as you want, because all the photos will go into like a little group of like in a portfolio. So I think that's exciting for people to see what's going on in the state too. So I encourage both meetings, events, upcoming things. Definitely let us know.
Wendy, should we pose the question about
yep,
campaign legislative updates versus fundraiser events?
Yes, I definitely.
For people?
Yeah, Brett and I had an extensive well, not extensive, but like, you know, a detailed conversation about like when an event comes to us, having some boundaries on what can I post and what can't I post. And one of the things that we were talking about is, okay, so you have like, we're not in campaign season. We don't have an endorsed candidate per se, like the process hasn't started yet, filing hasn't technically opened. If can we post fundraisers for candidates who technically can officially say they're running, you know, or that are, you know, when does the endorsement end? When does the endorsement start again? Like, how do we decide what we can post as far as fundraiser or legislative updates? You know, and one of the things that we talked about is that obviously anything that's a legislative update from a sitting person should 100% be up there. But where it gets gray is, what if it's a fundraiser and a legislative update? You know, like, how does all of that work? If a candidate, like pre-primary, are we wanting to get as many delegates and alternates who are going to be voting on these people out to all of these events, as long as they're not fundraisers? Do we want them to even know about the fundraisers that these organizations or these candidates are doing? Like, what we have a certain time frame that it's okay? Do we only do it post endorsement? I kind of lean towards as a delegate to the state and having voted for Kim Crockett, I mean, I'm not trying to throw Kim under the bus. I think she's an amazing person, way more than I could ever do. But when I voted for her, I did not realize that she had been put on a leave of absence, you know, with accusations of discrimination against her. And if I would have known that, like been more connected in the information and known that, I don't know that I would have voted for her. So I think that there's many examples like that where the more information you have about somebody, the more informed of a vote you can make. So letting people go to the events and see them talk, the more we have that opportunity, I think is the better. But that's my opinion, and I'm not the board, so I don't think as the communications committee we should be making that decision. I think that's a board decision.
Yeah, that's what Wendy and I talked about. So as an example, so my legislator, Mike Weiner, Representative Weiner, is doing a legislative update / fundraiser event coming up next weekend, not this coming weekend, but the weekend after. And so the question to you all is, do we post things about candidates doing fundraisers? And so, and if we do it for Mike Weiner, who's running for House, so then do we have to do the same thing for an opponent of his? If there happens to be one. There probably won't, but you know, there might be. So that's the question is, you know, what's the line? I mean, so once a person is elected, is the endorsement process now over and they're a representative? And then does the endorsement process start again when the filing date opens? Like, you know, whenever that, February of next year, whenever that is, you know, is that when it starts? So, yeah.
Or does their endorsement go until the next filing period? That's the question we had too, and that gets a little gray.
Yeah. Okay, Daryl has his hand up. Go ahead, Daryl. Daryl?
Yeah. Great question. And I think this is something that we should put on the agenda for August so we all can kind of think about what this means, because it's a pretty in-depth question, right? And it affects a lot of races and everything. So I think I would like to put that onto August's meeting so that all of us can think about it and kind of come up and we can have a good discussion. We may not come to a vote on it, but at least we can do some research and we can hear everyone's opinion and kind of give us guidance to where do we want to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, but in the meantime, then we won't, we should do, I think when somebody does an event, we should put that out to the public so the public can go see it. I just don't think that we should be supporting fundraisers for anybody. But again, you know, so in the meantime, I would say, you know, it's about between now and August. Can we post Mike Weiner's thing because it's a legislative update and a fundraiser? That's the question.
I don't know why not. Nobody, I mean, when does filing date open?
It's not till next year.
Well, then why wouldn't we? I mean, he's our elected representative.
Okay, well, let's just say he has a challenger. Then do we have to?
Well, that's next year. That's next year.
So here's what I think we should do, Brett, for this time. I think we could make a one-time motion. Someone could make a one-time motion maybe that we could, whether or not we could post this one because it is a legislative update and a fundraiser, because you could say that if it's a legislative update and a fundraiser, but then you're starting to make it where, you know, like really are all the legislative updates now going to have to be fundraisers? So you only get information from your legislator if you are willing to support his fundraiser or her fundraiser. And I'm not against that. I'm just saying that that's what it's leading to. Or do they have an obligation to their constituents to be giving them legislative updates without a fundraiser always attached?
Yeah. Rob has his hand up.
Yeah, I would just advertise it as a legislative update and not say anything about the fundraiser. Just say, you know, upcoming event or something. Now we had yesterday, Adam Schwarzy had an event in War Road, and I just sent out a note to all of our delegates, and this is not an endorsement. This is just informative. Adam Schwarzy is going to be at the Lake of the Woods Brewery 6 to 8, and put the flyer in so that they could get to meet him. So anyway, it just basically letting them know that he's going to be there. Come and take your best shot. So anyway,
Okay.
Which I did.
Rob,
Yeah.
that's a great idea. As far as we could even have it as an option that we could have a sticker that we put on any post that a candidate puts that's not endorsed, that says not an endorsement. That would be something you guys could throw around too, of having some way to identify that they're not the endorsed person, but it's just for your information.
Yeah, Wendy, let's you and I work on some options, and that way we can set up some different scenarios, and then we can email them to the board, and then they can review the different scenarios that we're talking about, and we can just, I guess we'll just cover them one at a time to see how we're going to do it. So, but I know Mike's flyer does not say anything about fundraising. It's strictly a legislative update, but it is a burger bar, so he is doing but it's not on the flyer. So, again, we're in gray area there, but anyway.
Can I just make a motion for now that, because we're already looking at a 3-hour meeting the way we're going, that we just go ahead and any current Republican elected official will post for until our discussion. I see no issue with currently elected officials, Republican officials, until this discussion next. I think that makes it pretty clear and concrete.
Great.
Second.
Okay. Yeah. Who seconded that?
Heidi.
Heidi. Okay. Any more discussion? Awesome. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Okay. Motion carried. Okay. So Wendy and I will work on that and get that out. Go ahead, Wendy.
I was going to say, I still am not officially the chair, so I don't mean to promote myself, but if you could decide yes or no, that'd be great. Thanks.
We'll fix that here in a minute. So we'll get Steve's report. And then, okay. All right, Steve, go ahead.
All right, thanks, Brett. Yeah, BPOU support committee, getting it up and running. The primary thing we're working on the first hand, and actually Wendy's been a huge part of this too, so thank you, Wendy. Doing a survey of our BPOU chairs. I know surveys don't sound fun, but we're really trying to get a idea of the health of each BPOU, where their strengths are, where their weaknesses are. Part of that, it was brought up about getting the BPOU meeting time and place. I believe that is part of survey to try to get some of that information so we can have that posted. So that'll be done as part of that survey. But basically the idea is to more collaboration, more coordination between BPOUs. If Lisa's done a great job in Wadena County on a lot of things. If she's really good at fundraising, there's this county that we find is struggling with fundraising. Let's connect some of those counties, or different sharing of ideas to try to not be working as all independent BPOUs without each other and replicating, reinventing the wheel every time. So helping each other out, knowing where our strengths and weaknesses are, collaborating better as we head into this next election. So that's the point of that. We did also have a discussion and hoping we can get this put together. Part of it was because Lisa kept coming up with all these things they've done in Wadena that had worked really well. And I said, well, why don't we're probably looking at having some Zoom calls, optional Zoom calls that BPOU committees, members of the committees, delegates can jump on, where we highlight certain areas, fundraising, events, caucus, and have some representatives from those counties that have done those areas well on there to kind of give an idea of what they've done and share some of those ideas and take questions from anyone on there to make that available again. So we're not just doing things really well in Todd County or Kitson County or whatever, and it's not being shared and getting it throughout CD7. So working on that. The other thing that we talked about was having, when we talk about events, we get a little bit handicapped on, where do we go from there? We don't know who we can get for a speaker or a draw. to put together a resource list for our BPOU chairs with contact information, if there's any fee information, different things like that, topics, kind of an approved list of recommendations. So if you do have anyone in that regard, do reach out to me. I can put my email address in the chat because we'll be putting that together as well, I believe. And so that's some of the stuff we're working on. There's been some questions from several people about technology, website stuff. So there's been some conversations around that to help social media technology front. There's a group that's helping on some of that stuff. So good things happening, a little slow getting going, mostly due to me. Had a insane spring with graduations and all sorts of things. So thanks to Wendy, because she's done a lot of it. And so we're getting things rolling, but now my son just had surgery. So it's been a fun few weeks, but we're getting there, and I appreciate if I will say one thing for any chairs that are on here, there's 5 of us, I think, that are going to be making those calls and kind of doing that survey. Brett, myself, Tony Bowney, Wendy, Annette Watson, and Amanda Hayda. So please, if there is, if you get a call, please do respond so we can get that done in a timely manner. It won't take too long. It'll be a fun conversation. But please don't make it hard for them to get a hold of you. They're volunteering their time. So that's primarily what I got. Daryl, you have a question?
No, it's just a point of information. So this would be directed towards Brett. So Steve, finish what you're doing, and then
that's I'm finished, Daryl. Thank you.
Okay, any questions for Steve at all? Okay, thanks, Steve. Go ahead, Daryl.
Okay, so my point of information on who can participate in the chat, is it just the committee members, EC committee members, or can anyone participate in the chat in our meetings? Just kind of wanting to know who that is, who can participate.
Yeah, I don't know if we can, like I said, I'm not an expert with it, so I don't know if we can even, can that be done? Can you block people from doing the chat, or does he have to block everybody? Anybody know?
I don't know if you can block, but we can make a statement that only EC members can participate in the chat and not guests.
It makes it confusing when somebody puts something out there and then you try to find it and there's 3,000 chats in there. So
right.
If I may say, in the past, it hasn't been preferred that EC members participate in chat because we're supposed to be concentrating on the meeting. So that's been more open for just the guests, I believe, but the EC members should be concentrating on the meeting. That's what I remember from a few months ago, or years ago, I should say.
Thanks. Tiffany? You're on mute.
Okay. In the past, we really hadn't had too much problem, but it has been lately in some of these meetings. The chat has come from people that are not on the executive committee. For one, it is distracting to those on the committee that are trying to focus on the meeting and what is being said. We do, in prior, we had a time where people that were not on the committee could speak up at the end and stuff. And that's kind of the way we had it before and stuff, that people that were not on the executive committee were advised not to use the chat or to speak. I would say please contain the comments in the chat to informational purposes only, like email or phone or of the such.
Great points. Thanks. Nathan?
Well, I was going to say, I thought that allowing the chat to be used by people not on the committee, I don't even notice it, to be completely honest. I'm looking at things that pulls it off the side of the screen. It's just people have questions. Because a lot of times things get missed, and if we go into executive session at the end of a meeting, it's easy to skip over asking people question or leaving an open time there for people to ask questions if they had something. So I think that I find it valuable to be able to go back and look and potentially reach out to those people and answer some questions if need be. So I would say just minimize it and let people ask questions if they need to.
Okay, let's hear from Jilann, who has to keep track of all that stuff.
Oh, she does.
Go ahead, Jilann.
Yeah, so I find it to be distracting, but if you're trying to just, I just want to know what Steve Boyd's email is. You can send a message just to Steve and I won't see it, or the rest of the EC won't see it. I don't know. We appear to have the chat tonight is people answering the questions that are the conversation for the executive committee. So I find it distracting, but whatever.
All right, Holly.
When the meeting's recorded, I don't know if it's just me. Again, technologically challenged some days. You can't pick just one person to text to. So when it's recorded, it's either the whole group or nobody. At least that's what I found.
Okay. All right. Okay, it doesn't like anybody else has their hand up. Okay, so yeah, let's so what's the consensus? Consensus is that it should be just the if you can't just text one person, that that's strictly for the EC to put in information. Is that correct?
You can text individuals. If you just click on meeting group chat, it'll show everybody in the meeting and you can text with somebody individually. I just checked it.
Okay, great. Other than that, let's keep it to just the EC using that. And that's what we'll do going forward, if that's okay with everybody.
Sounds good.
Yes. All right, sir. Great. Okay. Next item is we have communications chair appointment. So I'm going to submit appoint Wendy Wahl, the communications chair, and I'll ask for the committee to approve her.
Make the motion to approve Wendy Wahl as communications chair.
I second the motion.
Eve, that was Steve and Rob.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Any discussion at all from anybody?
Yeah, I have one question for Wendy, if possible.
Yeah,
Wendy, do you feel like there's a chance that you maybe take on too much? You seem to be well versed in this stuff, and it seems like there was a lot going on there in your presentation. Do you ever feel like you get swamped, or like do you have the time to put in the effort to all those things? Are you going to rely, or there's some sidekicks on the executive or on the communications committee that you're going to be able to rely pretty well on to kind of usher in what the plan is?
It seems like that a committee is coming together. If anybody wants to volunteer to be on the communications committee, we can always use more assistance. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm happy to have more help.
Yeah.
I actually had other obligations that I'm doing that outside of the party that I resigned from. So I actually have more free time than I used to, because at the very beginning, before I did that, I was like, okay, I can't go to meetings like 6 days a week. That's not going to work. So yes, you're right. I do have to have some balance, but this really, I feel, is something that can make a difference to turning Minnesota red. And having sat in seats where there's very liberal communists around me, I realize how close Minnesota really is to some very progressive policies. And so I feel like it's the best use of my time. Plus, when you pray about it and God tells you to do something, you just show up. So that's how I feel about it.
Okay. Any more discussion?
Thank you.
Okay, because it requires 2/3, I guess we're going to have to do a roll call. So, all right, Tiffany, yes or no?
Yes.
Nathan?
Yes.
Heidi?
Aye.
All right. Jilann?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Katie?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Lisa Murphy?
Yes.
Lisa Tilney?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Okay. Fred?
Yes.
Jerry?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Holly?
Yes.
Mary Gail?
Yes.
Gregor Jeff?
This is Greg, yes.
Okay, thank you. Daryl?
Yes.
Okay, and I don't think Brandon was on, was he?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
on.
Is Brandon on?
I thought I saw his name earlier.
Brandon, your vote?
I never saw him come on.
Yeah, I didn't either. Okay,
I'm sorry.
wow. Unanimous. Congratulations, Wendy, and thank you for helping. And we got to get that password thing fixed as soon as we can.
Thank you, everyone. No, my door is always open. I kind of keep odd hours, so I'm 10 a.m. up until like 9 p.m. is better for me. I work overnight, so if I don't answer, just leave me a text and I'll get back to you when I'm awake. So.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, next we have the vice chair vacancy. I'm going to move to appoint Jason Kirchenwitz for the vice chair position. So he's not on. He's got a prior commitment going on right now with his family, so he wasn't able to be here. So does anybody have any? Okay, I see Daryl has his hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, so there's one thing that does concern me about this nomination. It's nothing to do against Jason, but it has more to do with the delegation and alternates of our district that we represent as EC. And I just want to kind of point out that, you know, Jason ran for Otter Tail County chair, and he was the first one to be eliminated because of low vote count. He then, a couple of weeks later, ran for the state exec committee. And again, he was the first to be removed.
Yeah, you know, we're all aware, Daryl, we're aware of all that stuff.
Yeah, can I finish,
Can I
please?
interrupt you guys? You need a motion and a second before discussion, please.
Thank you.
Okay.
I
I get a motion?
move to approve Jason Kirchenwitz for our filling of our empty vice chair position.
Okay, Heidi motion.
Lisa Tilney second.
Lisa Tilney second. Okay, discussion. All right, Daryl, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so, you know, and then he ran for, you know, vice chair and was not part of the top 6. So to me, it's very clear that the delegates and alternates that were seated, you know, kind of voiced that they had concerns about Jason being on a leadership position. And so that's why I have concerns about putting him on and voting him in, because it kind of goes against the delegates and alternates that have voiced their opinion. So that's the concern that I have. Okay.
All right, thank you. Nathan? Nathan, you have
Yeah, sorry, there, yeah, I got it. I was going to speak in favor of Jason. I think that first vote at state, or for reference to what Daryl's just saying, I think there's only about a 3-vote difference on the first ballot for chair. Yeah, he ran for a lot of things. I know he did, and sometimes it seems like when we run for too many things, like people think that you're just throwing your hat in the ring for anything. So maybe that was why the vote was low. I don't know, but what I was going to reference is that, you know, Jason, who I don't necessarily always agree with 100% of the time, obviously, but I haven't really found many people that I do. But he, one thing I wanted to mention about him is that he's actually, I'll take us back to 2022, and he supported me in my run for state senate. But he was, when I continued running, he withdrew that support, and him and I had a pretty straightforward conversation about that. Even though at the time we were going to the same church, we were on opposite sides on whether or not on principle over the politics of something. And he stood along the, I guess I would consider he stood with the politics side of it, saying that no. I don't care what happened on your side of the thing, on your side of the argument, Nathan. You gotta step aside. And he was pretty adamant about that. As a chair he was the deputy chair in Grant County at the time, and he was willing to have that hard conversation with me. And I believe he was on, I think that was the years too that he was on this committee as a vice chair. So he represented, standing up for the endorsement well, even though it was directly against myself. And granted, there were some things I wanted to discuss at further length with him, but we didn't get all the way into it. He's shown some serious dedication to a party that has, I guess sometimes just used his talents and not rewarded him with the responsibilities and the, I guess if you want to call it the title, but the.
Hey Nathan, I'm gonna have to call time here. I'm gonna have to call time on you.
All right.
All right, Tiffany, go ahead. Tiffany, go ahead.
Yeah, just informational and transparency purposes, Bret. Who else have you received resumes from for this position?
Quite a few people.
Can you name them, please?
It doesn't have anything to do with Jason, so.
Well, it kind of does to the vote.
Why?
Because if people think there may be a more qualified person.
Yeah, let's stick to dealing with Jason. And then, then you guys can vote.
It pertains to this position, so why wouldn't you want to be transparent about it?
I will be transparent, and if this doesn't pass and I need to appoint somebody else, then that's what I'll do.
I agree with Bret. I think he gets to make the nomination, we vote.
Okay.
All right. Heidi?
I would like to, obviously I made the motion and I am actually for this candidate. In full transparency, I really don't know Jason. But I have all of people's resumes from the convention, the CD7 convention. I still have Jason's resume. And quite honestly, I was really impressed with his resume at the convention. I quite honestly thought he was going to be a vice chair position over myself or the other candidates. I was very impressed with his resume. He has been on the CD7 before. He has been the fundraising chair or committee, which obviously we need some people on the fundraising committee. He's been on the conventions committee. Obviously we need people to step up. Bless Rob Crowe has stepped up to temporarily chair that, but he's been on the convention committee in the past. So he's been involved, and quite honestly, I mean, I see that he's got the experience. Obviously, we've seen in our past meetings that behaviors have been tempered. Behaviors have been, we've tamed them down. We've discussed. We've had opportunities to discuss, et cetera, et cetera. And my last point is if we're going to bring up the CD7 convention, Annette Watson should be your treasurer right now, because she was the other candidate for CD7 and she got.
Let's stick to Jason. Let's stick to Jason.
Well, just making my point.
All right. Yep. Thank you. All right. I don't see anybody else's hand up. So, you've already said something. I can't, nobody else is there. So let's, okay.
Well, if somebody speaks against, then I can speak for.
Well, there's nobody else has spoken against. So we have to be fair. So as much as I'd like to, I can't do that. So, all right. So,
Steve
let's go
has
ahead
his
and.
hand up,
and-
Brett.
Steve has his hand up.
Okay, well, we still don't have a negative. We've had 2 positives now and 1 negative. We need another negative. And if not, then I think we should move to a vote.
Call a question.
Okay, now we have to vote on that. Okay. All right, that motion, call the question. Motion to call the question. Okay, second?
I second.
All right. I don't even remember. Is that required discussion?
No.
No.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carried. Okay, now roll call vote. Let's start down at the bottom this time, at the bottom of the list. Daryl.
No.
Okay. Greg or Jeff?
This is Greg, no.
Okay. Mary Gail?
No.
Okay. Holly?
No.
Noel?
Yes.
Amanda? Amanda?
It's a no.
Okay. Jerry?
No.
Okay. Fred?
No.
Okay. Rob?
No.
Okay. Lisa Tilney? Lisa Tilney? Maybe she had to leave. Lisa Murphy?
No.
Yes.
Okay, that Lisa Tilney, was
Yes.
that you and me? Yes. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Matt?
Yes. No,
I
I'm
heard you.
here.
I heard
Yeah.
you. Matt?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Katie?
Yes.
Okay. Steve?
Yes.
Okay. Jilann?
No.
Okay. Heidi?
Yes.
Nathan?
Yes.
Okay. And Tiffany?
Sure, I'd give him a chance.
Oh. Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. Right. Do you have a count, Jilann?
I have 8 yeses, 10 nos.
Okay, motion fails. Okay, I guess we'll try again in August. Okay. I'm looking for a fundraiser chair. I have somebody in mind, but I haven't talked to them about it. Is there anybody willing to take over fundraising now that Heidi is the treasurer? Tiffany, go ahead.
Well, I just requested earlier, have you reached out to Julie, the one that you put up for treasurer, if she would be interested in that? That would be a good spot for her to be involved and help the committee.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Okay. That's a great idea. Okay. Okay, hearing no takers, I guess we'll just carry on. All right, F, SD29.
Yeah, again, I met with Tom Luckin, and I'm the only chair that's affected by the precincts in SD29 out of Meeker County. So I'd like to just get this moved forward. If you would, either we can go back to previous emails or phone calls or whatever you want to name as you're convening a meeting, but
Well, like I said, I established a process with SD10 where I go to their BPOU meeting, and then during that time, we would take care of that business because he was the only, Noel was the only chair as well for SD10. So, and I know you told me
our documents just say you need to convene a meeting.
right. Yeah, it says I'm authorized to convene a meeting. That's what it
Right.
says.
And the definition of meeting is Zoom, phone call. It can be an email exchange.
Yeah, well, I've established what the process is. And so you've told me that your BPOU doesn't want me down there.
And they
So,
don't.
so we have a problem. So if they don't want,
Would
want
you
me
just
to come
like
down,
to call into
then
my next BPOU meeting then?
no,
Like,
in person.
What? Okay, so you're willing to spend 3 hours on the road to come into a BPOU that doesn't really want you there to approve someone that I've already approved?
You can't approve, you don't have the authority to
Well, I'm
approve
the
him.
chair. I'm bringing his name forward.
Right. Okay, well. If they don't want me down there, then, that's the process. That's the process I'm going with, in person.
Okay, maybe if you could do an apology to my BPOU for your April 11th Facebook post, they'd reconsider.
For what? What?
The April 11th Facebook post where my name was one of the names mentioned. As
Mentioned
voting
for what?
for the Action for Liberty statement. I don't think we need to revisit what the April 11th post was.
Then why bring it up?
Well, because that's why they don't want you at the BPOU meeting. So if you'd like to apologize to them for trashing their chair, that'd be beneficial.
I believe I apologized to both you and Tiffany for that. Didn't I not? Did I not?
No.
To me.
Huh?
No.
Yeah. Tiffany, did I apologize to you?
I'm going to be really careful on how I answer this, Bret. For one, I mean, okay, there's some discussion that needs to be had on the subject and we're kind of off the rail, but yes, you did apologize. Was it a heartfelt apology? No, I'm sorry. If that's
So now you're questioning my integrity? Is that what you're doing?
Can we move? You have Steve had his hand up and I have a couple comments as well on the subject.
Okay, Steve, go ahead.
This isn't on this subject. It's another kind of unfinished other thing. So
let's if we're not talking, we need to talk about SD29 and what affects that. So, okay. All right. Tiffany's next.
Yep. So we always say, let's abide by the Constitution and bylaws, right?
Right. Yeah.
So Bret, where does it say in our bylaws, Article 4, Section 3, that you have to attend a BPOU meeting to convene a meeting?
It says I'm authorized to convene a meeting.
Correct. Which convening
doesn't mean I have to do it. It doesn't mean I have to
convening
do
a
it.
meeting, the definition is by Zoom, as we are here tonight, email, or a phone call. You can convene a meeting. Right now, it seems to me that you are stalling out on doing this position. You are neglecting your duties as the chair.
No, that's not true.
It is, because you are stalling out convening a meeting. Convening a meeting can be Zoom or what have you.
It says,
what was the first
read
date?
the whole thing. Read the whole thing.
Yes, convene.
It says I'm authorized to convene a meeting. It doesn't say I have to do it.
You're stalling, but okay. So what was the first date, Jilann, that you brought this towards Bret, that this has gone on?
It was back in May. It was back in May. I've had
correct.
Well, why wasn't it done? Why wasn't it done after the census? When those two townships in Meeker County were moved into 29. Why wasn't it done then?
Oh, I guess I wasn't the chair then, Bret, so I can't answer to that.
But
I'm
so
doing
nobody
it
else,
now.
nobody else knew.
I don't know. I can't speak for other people. I'm bringing it forward now. I have a gentleman who would really like to be involved, is interested, excited. I explained to him he needs to be on a committee. He's ready to do that. And then you just seem to be pushing back on wordsmithing on meetings.
We're adding another volunteer. Why would we not want another volunteer? I'm not understanding, I guess, Brett.
Kind of like Julie.
Is it not the chair's prerogative on this? If he's willing to attend the meeting, I don't know why he just doesn't attend the meeting. What is the issue? It seems like we're making an issue out of nothing.
So
attend the meeting and take care of this.
Yeah, so the whole story isn't shared, and maybe everybody didn't get that, but Brett is not welcome in that BPOU. They don't want him there. I'm sorry to be that blunt, but that's just the way it is. Okay. So instead of mending fences from Brett's prior actions and getting this done and maybe letting the smoke settle a little bit, it's constant pushback, and this makes it even worse.
Well, okay, so
All
then
right.
wouldn't the proper way to help mend that fence, wouldn't that be, well, Jilann, if it's your BPOU, couldn't you help mend that fence? I mean, you could say, hey, he just wants to help this guy get onto the committee and do the work that he needs to do, so he wants to show up and meet up with us and discuss this. And then if
there
the
is
committee,
really nothing to discuss, Nate, but thank you.
if Meeker County wants to grill Brett on his prior actions, well, then allow them to ask him the questions and grill him with the things that they want that they're upset about. It seems like
I just explained what they're upset about, Nate. I
understand that, but
thank you.
You can say that the filtration is happening too at the same time.
Let's stop blaming the victims here.
Allow the victims. let's just focus on actually moving forward. So I would say
stop blaming the victims here.
Let the people ask Brett the questions, right?
Nate, in the past,
okay,
in the past, we have appointed Senate district directors with emails and phone calls and Zoom meetings. I don't see a point in having to attend in person because you had one meeting that was in person and now you have
nobody on this board seems to think we need to have an in-person meeting for anything except conventions, for crying out loud. So why don't we, just because it's the chair's prerogative, he wants to have the meeting. He said he's willing to go down and do it. If he's willing to sacrifice the time, let him do it. And arm your people with the questions that need to be help clear the air, so he'll be accepted down there.
As long as it's done respectfully.
Well, yeah, of course. I wouldn't expect anything else. We're not Democrats here.
Right.
Like we can quit this discussion, but if we're going to throw out the word respective in regard to the April 11th post, Brett, and there has been no apology from you to me and to none of the other 10 people that were mentioned in that. So we can just stop this discussion right now.
You mean on how you voted? Is that what you're referring to? How you I put out
your
how
long
people
litany
voted?
of what you perceived happened that came out at 6 p.m. on April 11th?
No, I know what I put out on the 11th. Are you talking about specifically about how people voted? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, you specifically had all our names in there as to voting.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I would say if you're not willing to vote in public, then why vote at all? You're an elected official.
Okay, so thank you for twisting this whole thing. I'm just saying this is why my BPOU doesn't want you there.
Okay, well, then I guess they'll do it at their Senate district their convention next year.
She's the BPOU chair. She has the prerogative to have anybody she wants there. And if she doesn't want you there, she doesn't have to have you there.
Okay, well, then I won't be calling a meeting either.
Well, and unfortunately, Senate District 29 is predominantly in Wright County. I've talked to the chair of Wright County. That's where the endorsing convention happens. So so your last comment isn't appropriate either.
What do you mean? You have to separate it out. That's the whole point of the Senate of the SD.
I just mean they're not going to vote for Tom Luckin in the Wright County Senate District 29 endorsing convention.
They have to split it out. That's what they're supposed to do, just like they do in 12 and 13 and the rest of the BPOUs.
So Brett, did I hear you correctly? Did you say you are going to deny representation to the counties in 29?
No, look,
You just said, no, hold on,
you're
let me
twisting.
finish. Don't interrupt me till I'm done talking, okay? Show respect here. You said that you were not going to call a meeting, and therefore that means that you are willfully denying the representation of 29 because you said then I'm not going to call a meeting. It's recorded. It's on here.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
you have multiple meetings. You have multiple ways.
There. Look. That's you're getting out of hand. You're twisting things around. Look, I set the precedence for the process, what's going to happen. It was an in-person meeting. That's the way that I want it, and I have the authority to do that. And also, it says I'm authorized to call a meeting. I don't even have to call one if I don't want to. That's in the Constitution. So, look, I told them I would go down there. They don't want me there. So I don't know what the result, what can happen. I guess they'll have to wait until their Senate endorsing convention next year in order to put a SDD in place. I don't know, but it needs to be in person. That's the process. Okay. Everybody can unmute themselves as they need to.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Oh, we still have a whole bunch of more items on here.
That's too bad. So sad. I move to adjourn the meeting.
Yeah. So I second the motion.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Discussion. Yep. Aye.
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 Opposed, nay?
Nay.
No.
No.
Okay, we're gonna have to do a by name. Roll call. Okay, Tiffany? Yes to adjourn or no to adjourn? Tiffany? Tiffany? Everybody can unmute themselves. Okay, all right. Nathan? Yes or no to adjourn?
No to adjournment.
Okay. Heidi?
No, because I heard campaign finance was a part of the agenda.
Okay. Jilann, yes or no?
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Steve? Yes or no to adjourn?
No.
Okay. Katie?
No.
No. Matt?
No.
Lisa Murphy?
Yep.
Lisa Tilney? Lisa Tilney, are you still on? Rob, yes or no?
Yes to adjourn.
Fred?
No.
Jerry?
No.
Amanda?
No.
God damn.
Noel? Noel?
No.
Holly?
Yes.
Mary Gail?
Yes.
Gregor Jeff?
Is Greg? No.
Daryl?
Yes.
Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tiffany, were you going to vote?
Yeah, sorry, had to step away. no to the agenda just because we still have items left to talk about.
Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Looks like that motion to adjourn failed. Is that what you have, Jilann?
Yeah, 12 no's, 6 yeses.
Okay. All right, Tim Nanson's award. Did you want to talk about that, Tiffany?
Yeah, so I thought it would be good that we give Tim something for being treasurer for us. He's went through the Trump campaign stuff with us, all the signs, all the candidate signs in 2022. So I thought a gift certificate for 125 to a eating place up around him somewhere would probably be appropriate.
A second.
Okay, Greg second, or what was that then a motion, Tiffany?
Yes, make a
Okay.
motion.
All right, and then Greg seconded. Any discussion on that?
And then I'll just add that I can just find a place and work with Heidi to get that amount, a gift certificate.
Okay, any more discussion?
I do have a question about the gifts being handed out for prior members. Has this been practiced like with all former executive committee members? Is this pretty typical?
Yeah, it is typical. You know, we're a volunteer organization and it's a very, I'm gonna say, as you guys know, very minute gift for what the time people put in. I will be honest, because I was thinking about it the other day. We did miss Bill Nickel when he stepped off the board. And I feel really bad about that.
Bill and Tim Miller and a few others that have been on the committee that have not had it. And then I was also going to mention too, the seems like a big difference in time served if we're going to give the same. I mean, are we giving the same gift to the prior chair as somebody that served on the committee for only a couple months or a year or however long it is? Is there like a standard procedure here on this? Because it seems like could be whatever. I know it's a lot of time. I know it's a lot of effort, but certain individuals have, Craig put in how many years in comparison to other people. The gift for Craig, you could say if the standard is after that many years of service, we gave him a gift of $300. Well, then the one for Mandy shouldn't be the same. The one for Bill shouldn't be the same. The one for each person shouldn't be the same. In my view of this thing, that we would be rewarding people based on the merit of their actual time and effort and grade on the committee. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I think based on the person's what they did, I think, and their years of service, I think that'll depend on each person. And I don't know if you can really set a standard for that. So I'm going to agree with Tiffany on that because she has the most experience with that type of thing. So I'm going to back whatever she says.
Fair enough.
I can't vote, of course, but I believe she's right. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor of doing the $125 gift certificate for Tim Nanson for his service, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Right. Opposed, nay? All right, motion carried.
And for the record, I'll just take a $50 gift certificate to Red Lobster.
You're funny.
Are you resigning, Matt?
Well, when I get voted off or one or the other.
I was just gonna say, where are you going?
Okay, all right, let's get through this.
I want to know where there's a Red Lobster around.
St.
I'll
Cloud.
buy an appetizer.
Next meeting. So Tiffany brought that up, and actually the next meeting is the last day of Farm Fest, and quite a few of us will be down there. So were you looking at the following Thursday then, Tiffany, or what were you thinking?
That would be my suggestion of August 14th, the following Thursday.
Okay. Okay. Do we get a motion on that, or do we not need to do that?
Yeah, we can, just to make it legit.
So
Okay.
moved.
So moved. Who? Nathan first,
Yes.
second,
Holly.
Holly. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay? All right. Progress.
May I speak at your pleasure? I just have a comment. This is Wendy. All I want to say is that if people could ask their BPOU people who are volunteering to sign up at the website so we can have them sent reminders, that would be really great. It's under the event list, or even yourself, if you would like a reminder one day before that you're volunteering, that would be great.
All right. Item I, it says I have previous. I didn't get the whole thing written down. What was the item?
Basically, previous members of having access that have been removed, their
Okay.
access should be removed as well.
Right.
I don't think we covered that in a prior motion.
Oh. Well, I mean, I removed, I mean, now the board had, when Katie was removed as chair, the board asked her to, if all to stay on. So I did extend that to her. But I removed some of her permissions were removed.
Right.
With her help, actually. So, but the other ones, they were removed right away.
Right.
As far as I know.
So does Katie still have access to social media, Zoom? You said Zoom is done, social media, any of that?
Yeah, she still has limited access. Yes. Yeah.
So was that,
I'm the admin now for all of them, I believe, or the owner.
okay, so Jilann, I can't find who should have access to everything. Was Greg, you, I, Brett? I'd have to go back to the meeting minutes. I think that was me.
Yeah, I believe other than the committee members, now I added, I've added access for Wendy,
Right.
interim.
So in that motion, did we put it should be communications chair, or were we specific in naming a name? We
Yeah,
were specific in name names.
Yeah, we named names.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll make the motion, since Katie was removed from committee chair, that she be removed from access from those entities as well.
Completely?
Yeah.
Even though she's part of the committee?
She is part of the committee, but she also violated to get her removal.
Uh-huh.
So I'm sorry, but that's when you violate that trust, you should not have access anymore.
Okay.
Brett,
I
I
will
just
say it's go ahead, Wendy. You're muted.
Just so we are well aware of the stipulations of who can and cannot talk, I'm sorry to be a stickler on this, but if we're gonna allow, Mason got demoted last meeting and this, we have to stick to that.
That's fair. Sorry, Tiffany.
Sorry.
Again, she has limited access now. She doesn't have the same privileges she had before. Trying to rebuild that trust.
Yes.
with
So
that.
until that trust is rebuilt, I'm sorry. I know I'm the bad parent. I am sorry, but I'm a stickler, and so I need a second on my motion, please.
I will second that. That's Daryl.
Okay, any discussion? I see some hands up, Amanda.
Yeah, Brett, could you please explain what the limited access is? What does that inquire? What can she do with that if this proceeded that way?
She can develop posts for things, but again, in the communications committee, nobody can post anything without my approval. So, she can edit different things with permission. Anything that anybody does, that includes Wendy, as the new chair, that I have to approve it all. So there's no, yeah.
Can
So
she
we've really,
do that without access? So are you talking about Wix in the back end, the website?
right. Yeah. Yeah. That's all of it. Anytime that they, you're part of the Signal chat on that, Tiffany. You can see all the different things that we talk about in there, and the approvals and and things take time and that kind of thing. So
Right, but the particular posts are not posted in that chat. So the committee, as far as I know, does not see any of the posts be prior to them posting
you're talking about the automatic ones?
any of them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, the automatic ones, yeah, I look at those. They're like 2 weeks. I think we're 2 weeks out on those. Or I think we're at 10 days out or something right now, because we're already started here into the week. But I have to look at everything. It takes a lot of time.
So in the original motion that was made either the meeting before last, it was to have approval, full access approval, where Katie was named. So that's what I would my motion to revoke the full access would be.
You mean so she has no access? Is that what you're saying?
No, so it is saying she, and I'm not pinpointing Katie, but anybody removed would be removed from having full access to the accounts. So that would allow limited. That makes sense.
Yeah, again, I'm not fully familiar with all the levels of access. So I can't really answer that question. I know it's limited. She doesn't, like I said, the ownership and the admin has been turned. I have that now, finally.
So just to be clear, and if I do my friendly amendment to my own motion, but so I would make a motion if somebody is removed from a committee to remove their full access permissions as well. So then that would keep it open. If you wanted her to have limited access to things, she just does, those people just don't have full access anymore to get into some of the back end stuff. But keep in mind, you are responsible for that, Brett.
Right. And I think Wendy will be, she'll be like right under me as far as access, but I still have to grant access, and Wendy, we're going to have to work through to make sure that we have that stuff right. Because like I said, I'm going to rely on your expertise there to get that done. So, okay. So limited access. If somebody is removed, that's your motion then?
Yes.
Okay.
To having full access.
Right.
With the wording of it, Tiffany, would you accept maybe a wording like in the event of a committee member removal, access can be removed to the discretion of, downgraded or something like that? Or you tried?
Well, that is my motion.
Sound like you were saying full access.
Yeah, so right now those people have full access to, or they should have full access to all of social media, the website, all of that stuff. So when we remove full access, then they don't have full access, but they could still have limited access, as Brett was talking about.
Okay.
I know it's a bit confusing,
eventually,
sorry.
if we get more people on the communications team, we're going to run into a situation where we don't have enough licenses, and we're going to have to buy more licenses. So
that's another discussion.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. So okay, yeah, okay. So the motion is for if somebody's removed from their position and then if they're still involved, then they have limited access. Does that kind of sum it up? That they need to have limited access, limited
No.
supervised access, or however you want to say that.
No, the motion is if they get removed from committee duties, that their full access is revoked as well.
All right. Which would give them limited access.
They could still possibly have limited access.
Okay. All right. Okay. Did we have a second on that?
Yeah, Daryl.
Daryl? Okay. All right. Looks like Holly has her hand up for discussion.
I have a point of whatever information. Who is all on the communications committee right now? I haven't seen anything about who all the members of the communications committee is. And I was curious to know who all is officially on the communications committee right now.
Okay, so it's Wendy Wahl is now the chair. Katie German, Steve Boyd, Sarah Verheuel, Annette Watson, Vance Bachman, Kevin Kusurik, and then Tiffany and I are on all of them. So
Brett, maybe
Yes.
it would be good if you updated the committees.
Yeah,
And
good
stuff
idea.
and sent
Yep.
that out to the committee, please.
Yeah, we'll do.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am. Will do. Okay, Amanda.
Just a quick question, to protect all.
Having a hard time hearing you.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
A little better.
Just to protect you, do you keep a paper trail when you grant permission of publishing something to protect you and everyone else?
No, well, I mean, we have it on our Signal chat where we approve things.
That would be good enough for me, just so that you can prove that, yes, I did approve this. There's no question or something like that. That's all.
Okay. All right. Yeah, good point. Thank you, Amanda. Nathan?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, so it's a motion. So that's gonna be our standard operating procedure then heading forth? Or are we attempting to add it to like a bylaw, or what's kind of the idea here exactly?
It's standard operating procedure.
Yeah.
Right. So if we come again across this situation again, hopefully we don't, but if we do, then we don't have to have another meeting in the middle.
Yeah. I mean, the only two really committees that would involve that would be communications and then maybe fundraising. But because those are the only ones that have any type of access. Everything else is, stuff. Okay, Heidi, go ahead.
Do you want to set a certain time limit, like a probationary time limit on situations like this? So it's not eternity, or it's not 2 months, 1 month, some probationary time?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think we can, as people, I know from experience that, people make mistakes, and you want to mentor them in a way that gets their confidence back so they're secure in the decisions that they make. And that time period is different for each person. So I don't know if setting a cookie cutter thing is the right thing to do. Some people never learn, and other people, they pick it up within a couple of weeks, and some within a couple of months. It just depends on the person and the situation and the gravity of the situation that they're in. So I would say, yeah, it's based on the person. That's just my experience anyway. So, all right, any more discussion? Okay, all in favor of Tiffany's motion with the friendly amendment, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carried. All right. Okay, the next one I think was hiring a professional to do the various reports. Was that the next item? H or J? H-I?
J.
Yeah, J. Was that Tiffany? Is that what you talked about?
Yeah. So when Tim was treasurer, we had Diane Johnson fill out the state and federal reports online for us and stuff. And I would suggest that moving forward, we do that as well. I know Heidi talked with Tom Datwyler. Was that his name? Heidi?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's, to protect ourselves, to protect Heidi, if something, those things are not to mess around with. I mean, I believe he said he would charge 175 to do the filings, and times that by 4 because they do it quarterly. Very minimal compared to the dollar fine and even the publicity fine that the Democrats would run away with if we had a mistake or some slight overlook. Plus, Heidi's name is on that stuff. So if something legal ever comes about, it's Heidi that takes that fall. So for a simple $175, 4 times a year, we can help curb that. And it's just a simple, I think the next couple quarters, will be pretty minimal because, it's just kind of quiet financially, unfortunately. Then maybe that's not a good thing to have, but it's just the way that we work and stuff. But I think it's just a good idea on our end to get that final stamp and to look it over and protect ourselves and protect Heidi in the midst of it.
I do have a comment to that. What about using an internal source, somebody who's been filing those kind of documents, like say Julie, for example, who would do it for free?
How
Just a
many?
thought.
Yeah, I would question that. I know Tom does it for many other candidates. He is well experienced in it. And I would highly suggest that Tom does it. So
We have a
Yeah.
motion and a second, or are we just having
yeah,
discussion?
so I'll make the motion to have Tom Datwyler do the state and federal filings for us.
If,
Do I have a second?
Second it,
Seconded it.
Joanne.
Steve, discussion first.
I'm going to defer to Heidi to go first, and she's the treasurer, and then I'll go after her.
Okay. All right. Heidi, go ahead.
oops. So, as far as state, the state is no problem. And the state, I already did, like I said, I put in 4 or 5 hours doing the state the other night because I know I've done that for 6 years. As far as the federal, I did the federal last year. I've dabbled in the federal. I had a discussion with somebody the other night, and if we could possibly table this, I would appreciate it. I'd like to have a private conversation with Bret and Tiffany, if I could, about using a professional. So I understand, Tiffany, thank you so much. Because I don't want to end up in handcuffs or anything like that. But the state, I really definitely wouldn't need any help with, because I do know that. And between my work and having that time with work, I don't have any problem with that. And the federal, I've been offered many different possibilities of aid that would come free of charge. So if we could discuss that later between us, possibly, but I'll let everybody else talk.
So you wanna table it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if I could, I'll put this out there. If we could save money by having somebody that we don't have to pay, I'm all about saving money. And that's why I'd be willing to do the state, because I took this job knowing that I'd have a lot on my plate, And I just assumed, I didn't, like I said earlier, I didn't know that the state was handled by Diane Johnson. I thought it was just the federal. So the state, I totally don't mind doing at all. And the state doesn't come down hard at all on any mistakes. In fact, in my 6 years, I only had, I think, one or two mistakes, and one was with the CD7 that we just miscategorized something between Tim and I. So the state I'm not worried about, but it'd be the federal. But if I could get some, if I could, if that's okay with you guys, but I leave it to you all.
When is the next filing deadline, Heidi?
July 31st. So I'm planning on getting aid. I was actually going to start doing the federal next week myself.
So maybe I could revise my motion to say, reach out to Tom for July's filings, and then we could figure it out for next quarter.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'll make a friendly amendment to my motion to have Tom do the July filings for both state and federal.
Well, state we don't need. That the filing for state is done, and everything has the data entries for state are done. There's no deadline for the state. That's the end of the year. They've only got an end of the year. It's the federal that has July 31st. And again, I was going to try and tackle that next week with some aid from a couple of people that we all know. And I was going to reach out to some people. So like I said, but yeah, the state's already done. That's all up to date with all data entry and everything like that.
Okay. Do you think I don't know how that works if districts are different than BPOUs, but do you think it would be good for Tom to look at the state to make sure all the T's are crossed?
I had 6 years of doing it with Candio High, and there's no difference at all with filing. Okay. Yeah, I'm not worried about that at all. If I were, to believe me, I'd tell you. But yeah, the state, I'm not. I conversed with Tim back and forth text on Saturday. We got details worked out that I didn't really, just little things about what goes into the state account, what goes in the federal. But yeah, the filing as far as the state, piece of cake, quite honestly. It's the federal, and the problem with the federal, I have no problem with it's just the computer program that I have the problem with.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. So we'll use them for the federal filing for July then. Do you want to
just second for that?
It was a friendly motion amendment.
Okay.
So Jilann would have to agree to that.
Oh, right.
I second the friendly amendment.
Okay. I don't see any more hands up for discussion. So all in favor of that motion and friendly amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Right. Motion carries. Good deal.
To adjourn.
We got the last. Tiffany had one more thing on there. Steve.
Yeah, the convention minutes and attachments.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Let's drop the motion.
All right, great. All right, go ahead, Tiffany.
This is more Jilann.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've got the CD7 convention meeting minutes that from Dawn Crowe this afternoon, and I'll send this out to everybody. I've got the email ready to go. We can add it to the August 14th meeting then for discussion. But again, the convention meeting minutes aren't for us to approve. That would be for the delegation at the next convention.
Yep.
I've also attached 8 testimonies from different people that were closest to the Otter Tail happenings in the gymnasium. So they're attached too. And if there's somebody on the phone that thinks they were close to that and you didn't submit that to me, or you can still do that. We'll add that in, just trying to reflect so that we don't repeat history, that we understand what happened there. And then I'll be including an OTC seated, who got seated attachment, because there's some questionable things about, and you'll see it in that spreadsheet, about shows people on the convention floor who were neither delegates or alternates. And so it leaves questionable results in that convention. You'll see that when you read it. So again, I'm just presenting this, and that we should accept it as that it happened. But I'm just saying, again, it's not for us to approve. So I'll get those sent out.
Yeah.
And we
Thanks.
can add it to the agenda in August for discussion.
I know. Thanks so much for getting that done, Jilann, and kudos to Dawn as well. So, yeah. Okay. Did anybody? I don't see any more hands up, and that's the last item. Oh, Steve Boyd, go ahead. Steve.
Yeah, really sorry, guys, to extend the meeting. I probably should have brought this up as an agenda item, so stop me if I can't do it. But there was a conversation. I had one of the chairs call me that had a concern. I promised him that I would bring it up to the committee. So if you're okay with that, I'll bring that forward. Full disclosure, I started working for Jeff and Jay Backer for their company about a month ago. Backer Wenzel Incorporated as a national sales director. This chair thought that it was a conflict of interest. I don't see that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. Obviously, I'm not over anything in Jeff's district, anything with his endorsement. If there was any sort of vote on a donation to Jeff or something, obviously would abstain from that. But I promised the chair, he was respectful, he had a good conversation. I promised the chair that I would bring it to the committee to see if there was any others that had a thought of that being a conflict of interest. Again, I don't see it as one, but I promised him I would bring it up tonight and then fill him in. So I wanted to bring that to your attention.
Okay. Does anybody have any comment about that? I see Tiffany has her hand up.
Yeah, I was just going to comment and give tremendous appreciation to Dawn for doing those convention minutes. It was a long contended convention, and to do those minutes, I couldn't even imagine where you would even start. So appreciate that.
I will pass that on to her.
Thanks, Rob. I know she worked hard on it, and definitely appreciate it and everything. So, yeah.
Did you have anything on Steve's issue?
I don't believe it's an issue, honestly.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Daryl, you have your hand up.
Yeah. So Steve, I just have a point of clarification for you. You're working for Jeff Backer's company, not his campaign, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to get that clarification. So, okay. That's all I needed. Thanks.
Okay. Any more, Nathan? You're muted.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I know I promised everybody that I'd have a few things for like potential bylaw additions. Matt and Tiffany and I were going to kind of look
hold
at.
on. Let's deal with Steve's any issues on Steve with Steve's thing. Yep. Okay, seeing none. All right. Thanks, Steve, for bringing that up. I appreciate it. Yep. Clear the air. Good deal.
Thank you, folks.
All right. All right. Nathan, go ahead.
Yeah, I did send out basically that rough draft, and we can keep looking at it some more, but just some kind of standard operating procedure or potential bylaw change that we may need to do. And I could send that to the rest of the committee if they wanted to see it and throw in any additions as well. But at some point, I think we do need to get that committee together. The bylaws and constitution committee, it does really seem like we have in our meetings a lot of you want to call it ambiguity or whatever that we need to sort out and take care of, so we have clear and clean understanding on these issues. And also, just one quick thing to Jilann. Jilann, is what I sent you, is that part of the testimony of the 8 people, or are they Otter Tail County people, or?
No, you're part of the 8.
I was. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I'll look forward to seeing that. Cool.
And again, if there was somebody else that you're aware of that had intimate knowledge, I welcome their feedback. I'm just, again, trying to keep us from ever having to do that again.
Oh, yeah, amen.
Yeah, wasn't Jeff Backer kind of heading that up over there with that group, or kind of corralling the people?
Yeah, I
or-
have Jeff, so
Okay.
the 8 are Fred Wright, Matt Francis, Jeff Backer, Vance Bachman, Tiffany Knott, Nathan Miller. I'm forgetting somebody.
You have Dawn Anderson in there too. She was on the stage with Justin Malone when they were talking about it quite a bit. Because we had the
No, and I
BPOU
don't have
officers.
one from Justin, although I do believe he was asked for one, so.
Yeah. Okay. I'll talk to those two quick.
Wasn't it Jonathan Anisted?
Oh, yeah, I got one from Mike Cummins and Jonathan Anisted, the chair and the parliamentarian. So I put them all in one attachment. There's 8 testimonies. Take your time and read it. We'll discuss them in August.
All right. I'm sure that was a monumental task. I sincerely thank you for that. Okay, that's the last agenda item.
Make a motion
no,
to adjourn.
No, wait, it is not the video.
Oh,
And then, so before we go into closed session, I would say, since I don't know if it happened last meeting, but open it up a few minutes if any of the chairs or anybody else has any pertinent information to share.
The Lacaparo BPOU, we're having our fundraiser on, one second, let me pull up my calendar.
Mason, did you submit that to the communications team?
No, if someone could send me Wendy's email after the meeting, I'll get that over to her.
Yeah, it's just either communications. What's the can you put it in the chat, the email?
I'm not sure. Katie probably knows the official email. If Katie could do that, that'd be great, because I don't know what the official email is. If she
Okay.
doesn't know it, I can give him my personal.
It's either communications or events. It's one of the two.
I think it's events.
Okay, I'll figure it out after. But it's Tuesday, August 12th in Dawson. In the evening, I think it's 5 to 6 is the registration, and then meal 6, program 6:45. You are all invited. I will let. I don't think we've quite set a price on the table or on the meal price, but I'm not the secretary, so I could have missed that and could be mistaken. So.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, if you want to send it to me, I don't know if you have Wendy's email or not, but you can certainly email it to me and I'll get it to the team. No worries.
Brett, Dave Hughes, Deputy Chair of Kittson County.
Yes, sir.
Our BPOU is hosting Kendall Qual sometime in July. I don't have the date or the details, but I'll get that to you and Wendy as soon as I can talk to Kathy.
Okay. Do you have a date?
No, I don't have that handy, but
All right.
I'll get that to you shortly.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Anybody else with pertinent information? All right. Okay. Now for this next part, we need to move to closed session. Correct, Tiffany?
Yes, please.
Okay. So we're going to ask everybody to exit, other than the executive committee.